I was looking for this written down in the Red Book of our records, which, by the way, I did pull up, and we did hit a couple of things there. Pretty.
Oh yeah, we
on.
have not gone through that recently.
But I remember, and I think the receipts are all online. So somewhere on the podcast feed there, I recall at the beginning of, I think it was maybe this year, saying how we might see cures to cancer, like real progress. And I was basing that off of everything, all the big progress and breakthroughs we had with COVID vaccines and all that. And so I thought, they're really going to start pushing probably cancer treatment, because that's a great way to sort of galvanize the medical world with certain cancer treatment breakthroughs. Because, if you're not vaccinated, if you're not on board with the whole system, you don't get the treatment, that kind of thing. So
Right.
in that sort of context, the independent.co.uk published the story. And I don't know how to pronounce this drug, but I'll do my best. Dostarlimab. 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 Kind of like do star lima B. I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to say it, but that's the drug, Dostarlimab. How does promising cancer drug work? Okay. And it says, scientists have reacted with excitement and a typical splash of caution to the news that every single cancer patient in a small clinical trial conducted in the U.S. was cured after being treated with an experimental drug. The 12 patients, interesting, like the 12 disciples, all of whom had been diagnosed with rectal cancer, yikes, entered remission after taking Dostarlimab over a six-month period, according to a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The study is clearly very small, and scientists have said the results will need to be repeated, but to have 100% remission across all patients is unprecedented and cause for great optimism. Quote, this is the first time this has happened in the history of cancer. Dr. Luis Diaz, one of the lead authors of the paper and an oncologist at the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York, told the New York Times. It is an immunotherapy drug used in the treatment of endometrial cancer, which affects the lining of the uterus and is highly curable. The medication, which is administered via intravenous, was first approved for use in the U.S. and Europe in April 2021. Although none of the patients in the U.S. trial developed clinically significant complications, adverse reactions to Dostarlimab typically include fatigue, nausea, diarrhea, and constipation. The study is the first of its kind to investigate whether Dostarlimab can be effective against rectal cancer tumors. Patients received the medication every week for a 6-month period. Do you want to get into how this thing works, or do you care?
Oh, I don't know. I'm waiting for you. You're leading the way here. Whatever you think is
okay.
Right.
Well, we can learn a little bit more. Dostarlimab is a checkpoint inhibitor, which works not by directly attacking the cancer itself, but driving a person's immune system to essentially do the work. Sound familiar?
Yeah, is this like a mRNA thing?
I see. That's what I don't know. I'm going to need people that know better to give us whether it is or isn't.
But they don't say it.
I don't think they say it
mRNA or anything
directly. Yeah. I don't think they mention it. So, it gets into more details about how this thing works and basically how it is let me just read this part right here. Where is it? These types of immunotherapy drugs do so by blocking proteins that stop the immune system from attacking cancerous cells. So again, it's not directly attacking, it's sort of changing your body, doing things to attack it. What do the scientists say? Dr. Hannah Sanoff of the University of North Carolina, who was not involved in the research, said the study was small but compelling. Quote, these results are cause for great optimism, she wrote in an editorial accompanying the paper, adding that the research had, quote, provided what may be an early glimpse of a revolutionary treatment shift. However, she cautioned that, quote, such an approach cannot yet supplant our current curative treatment approach. There's way too much money involved. That's the part she didn't say. Adding that it remains unclear whether the patients are cured. Of course. And then it gets into, actually, I got a couple more highlights here. Quote, very little is known about the duration of time needed to find out whether a clinical complete response to dostarlimab equates to cure, Dr. Sanoff wrote. Dr. Kimi NG. How do you say that? Do you remember? Is it no or is it just I guess
I don't know.
No.
Is there more to it, or is it just
it's literally capital NG.
I have no idea.
Dr. Kimi, colorectal cancer expert at Harvard Medical School, told the New York Times the results were remarkable and unprecedented, but they would need to be replicated in order to establish their significance. And the thing that's interesting is with this Dr. Sanoff quote from a moment ago, they're going to have to define what cure means of cancer, because I don't know. There are people that beat cancer, so I guess you can take that as a standard. But I don't know. There's something to this story to me that is signaling again a shift in medical practices in the medical institution, and it'll be interesting to watch. It'll probably require a whole reset of cancer treatment. And how's that going to go? You got all kinds of companies with supply and radiation treatment, all the things that go into the current, model of cancer treatment. I don't know, upending that and then shifting it around potentially. I guess we'll have to learn more from studies and stuff, but it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Do you mean like redefining a cure in the same way they had to redefine a vaccine? Kind of,
yeah.
Because the vaccine?
And yeah, looking at the pattern of what we've gone through in the last couple of years, just redefining words that mean things like immunity or herd immunity or, things like that. It'll be interesting to see if they actually change the definition of cured. Like cured of cancer, what does that mean? Does it mean you're in remission for a certain time? Does it mean the whole thing is gone?
Right.
What does it mean?
Because you're not right now. They don't say that you're cured of cancer. They say you're in remission.
Yeah, unless you're
and then you just
this article.
You stay in remission. Right. Okay. So the very sort of paradigm of curing cancer is an entirely new paradigm, basically.
Right, and
that we've never seen or had before.
For the indie.co.uk to state those words that these patients in the study was cured, I think it's kind of a big deal. People are really talking about it too much, but it is a big deal.
Okay,
now, here's something
interesting. I see.
Dostarlimab is sold under the brand name Jemperli, is a monoclonal antibody used as a medication for the treatment of endometrial cancer. Dostarlimab is a programmed death receptor 1. It's a PD-1. So there you go.
with your super deep voice that I'm hearing right now, was really intense.
Really dramatic. The programmed death receptor 1.
Yeah, this is crazy. I should release my recording of you just so people know what I'm dealing with here.
And I thought you'd wonder, how to invest in Dostarlimab because, you're thinking ahead, right? The marketrealist.com has something to say. How to invest in Dostarlimab, the cancer drug with unheard of results. It goes through some of the same information here. Yeah. And at the bottom, you got to read the whole article to get to it. Who makes Dostarlimab? Dostarlimab is made by Tesaro, a company that was acquired by GlaxoSmithKline in 2019 for a total consideration of $5.1 billion. The acquisition enhanced GSK's oncology pipeline. So there you go. GSK is... Dump it all into GSK if you want to ride this Dostarlimab train.
Yeah, what was GSK's most recent problem? They had a lot. They did some horrible thing.
Yeah, no, we reported on it too. Was it last summer? I don't remember.
It was recently. They were caught doing something horrible.
Right.
What's the word? We do GlaxoSmithKline crimes. What's the scandal? Maybe was it a scandal? Plead guilty and pay $3 billion to resolve fraud. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they had a. This was back in 2012, though. Yeah, failure to report safety data. So, kind of the similar thing that Pfizer and everybody else did. They all had to, they're all just constantly lying. Let's see. They had a bribery case in China. That's nice. They had, what is this one? $750 million to resolve criminal and civil liability regarding manufacturing deficiencies at Puerto Rico plant. Okay. Yeah.
Why do all these companies have a huge history of breaking the law?
I'm telling you, man, it is not even that crazy to call these pharma companies just full-on criminal organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. GlaxoSmithKline, bribery, corruption, and fraud. Had to pay another $480 million for somewhere else. This is outrageous. Forbes, even Forbes. This was back in 2012. Okay, so they're reporting on the $3 billion settlement. Yeah, you cannot find a big pharma company that is not literally just riddled with crime tumors throughout its recent history.
Yeah, well, these guys have the edge on cancer cure, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, good. That's going to be fine.
That'll be just fine for society. Yeah. So anyway, I think we should keep an eye on this stuff because, I'm sure everybody knows somebody who's been affected by cancer. It's an ugly thing,
right?
But also, the solution, right? The problem reaction solution. We might be entering a kind of solution phase of it, and that could mean giving up more freedom, privacy, whatever. More of your bodily autonomy.
Right, gotta have your vaccine passport if you want the cancer treatment.
Yeah.